Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Ashley Agan. I am a board certified ear, nose, and throat doctor. And today we're going to be talking about smoke, secondhand smoke, air quality as it relates to your child's risk for recurrent infections. Now, there is an abundance of evidence, studies, research papers written about the risk of secondhand smoke on children and how it increases their risk of having recurrent ear infections. And so there's no question that if you smoke, if anyone in your family smokes, it is extremely important to, number one, not smoke around the baby or the children. And number two, if you are going outside to smoke, you need to have a change of clothes when you come back in at minimum, because the smoke stays on you. And if you are then come in and play with the kids, play with the baby, they're still going to be exposed. So that risk is still with them, even though you're removing yourself to go smoke. So that's super duper important. And nowadays, vaping is extremely common. And so I think it's important to recognize that when you're vaping, those vapors are going into the air. We do know that exposure to e-cigarettes disrupt the epithelial barrier, so the lining of your respiratory tract that serves as a barrier to prevent, pathogens from the outside coming into the inside. We know that e-cigarettes disrupt that barrier. We know that they increase susceptibility to viral infection, and we know that they impair our immune response. And so just because we don't have direct evidence or studies that look at vaping and ear infections specifically, from what we know, all of the things that I just mentioned, as far as breaking down the barrier, increasing susceptibility to infection, impairing the immune response, all of those things can ultimately lead to recurrent ear infections. As we're talking about decreasing exposure to cigarette smoke, it makes sense to kind of lump in e-cigarettes and vaping in that discussion. If you are altering the air quality in any way, whether that be through vaping or if there's fires because of wildfires in the air, anything that can contribute to poor air quality is going to be a risk factor for your baby. And the reason is because that air, when they're breathing through the nose, that's going to irritate the lining of the nose, the back of the nose and throat. The eustachian tube, which is what's responsible for ventilating the middle ear, is located right in the back of the nose and throat. So anything that would alter the air quality, like smoking, vaping, pollution, wildfires, any of these things could put your baby at risk for having problems with a chronic ear infection, which we call chronic otitis media, where there's fluid stuck in the ear, or recurrent ear infections, where patients will have an ear infection, they'll be treated with antibiotics, they'll be fine for a couple of weeks, and then it will come back. And they just are cycling through multiple ear infection after ear infection over and over again. And so anything you can do to improve the air quality is also going to be helpful. If you're listening to this and you're saying, I don't smoke, I don't vape, we don't live in an area where there are wildfires, so this doesn't apply to me. So what could I be doing to improve the air quality? Indoor air purifiers are going to help with any sort of irritants that can happen inside. So we're thinking about like dust, mold, pet dander. So if you have pets, you don't want them sleeping in the area where the baby is. But you can use an air purifier to help clean the air, to help your baby breathe better, and to help prevent congestion and stuffiness in the nose that ultimately ends up with inflammation around the eustachian tube and recurrent ear infections. So all of these things incrementally add up. And so I know as a mom, when my daughter was going through having recurrent ear infections, I was looking for any little thing that I could do to potentially help us not have that next ear infection. An air purifier is a nice addition, But I don't think that it overcomes the exposure if you are smoking in the home. So if you smoke, don't smoke around your kids, regardless of if you have an air purifier or not. And if you are going outside to smoke, change your clothes when you come back in so that your kids are not exposed to the smoke that's on your clothes. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Drop those below. Thanks for listening.